welcome to Change Happens, a weekly gathering of things that I found entertaining, informative, or thoughtful as I made my way through the digital cave that is the inner...
Hello and welcome to Change Happens, Volume 122. Have a great day, find your way from the walls of the digital cave. Hi, isn't the lesson the lighter load to carry? Are you gentle with your mistakes? Do you leave them at the door or carry them always everywhere, as if that is all you have to share? Do you feel the weight of them carried endlessly about the day? Who made you think a misstep was a burden to bear forever? Whose gift was this to you? What if all you did was learn from them another way, if you held them thoughtfully and turned them inside out and then let them fall away? Be gentle with your mistakes and let them carry on alone. Change Happens is brought to you by Hyperventilating the Podcast. A father and a daughter discuss matters. Hyperventilating the Podcast, entertaining, informative, and thoughtful. Join us every Wednesday. Embracing Nonsense. Headline: The Nietzsche Thesis, Why We Don't Really Care About Truth. From the article, there is one important observation about modern society that might lend credence to Schreiber's ideas: the popularity of conspiracy theories and echo chamber nonsense. If epistemic vigilance were true, we would all be fact-checking and dismissing conspiracists all the time, but we don't. When a charismatic or compelling speaker delivers a statement, we accept it much more often based on Machiavellian lines. I will nod along if others nod along. I will accept it if it preserves my social status. A questioning of the idea that we have built-in systems for detecting nonsense, for uncovering lies that people tell. It questions the idea of epistemic vigilance, a concept which suggests that we do have this sort of tool in our kit, that we possess the ability to recognize deceptions. The article suggests that this may not be true, that we are not programmed to care about truth. The hypothesis here is that we are programmed to look for self-presentation and social standing as opposed to truth-seeking, that we don't really value truth. We value instead how we are perceived and received. Nietzsche's position here lends weight to the ideas presented. He felt we look for truth only when it is pleasant or has life-preserving consequences, and we are ill-disposed to potentially harmful and destructive truths. So we are less fact-based truth-seekers and more mustache-twirling schemers. Social media and the widespread acceptance of nonsense would bear witness to this conclusion. In our image. Headline: Humanoid Robots in Use Right Now. From the article, while many humanoid robots are still in the early stages of development, a few have escaped research and development, entering the real world as bartenders, concierges, deep-sea divers, and as companions for older adults. Some work in warehouses and factories assisting humans in logistics and manufacturing, and others seem to offer more novelty and awe than anything else, conducting orchestras and greeting guests at conferences. An interesting collection of humanoid robots at work and at play. A small description of each robot is accompanied by a photo of all the grown-up toys. I'm struck by the fact that we are compelled to make robots and give them heads with eyeballs. It's to somehow make them what? I don't know why we feel compelled to anthropomorphize the machine. Does it make us more comfortable that our robots are running around with a human-like mien? A god complex in play? Trying to make it less weird that we are ceding human tasks to machines? I don't know. I suppose if you are building your replacement, you may as well leave something of yourself as a reminder. Genius Abused. Headline: Alan Turing, creator of modern computing. From the article, Alan Turing was not a well-known figure during his lifetime, but today he is famous for being an eccentric yet passionate British mathematician who conceived modern computing and played a crucial role in the Allied victory over Nazi Germany in World War II. He was also a victim of mid-20th century attitudes to homosexuality. He was chemically castrated before dying at age 41. In today's edition of People You Should Know About, or Be Reminded About, we visit with Alan Turing. As the headline suggests, he's known mainly as the creator of modern computing, but there's a lot more to him than that. The fascinating and tragic man should be more well known and celebrated than he is. It kind of makes me mad thinking about him and how much we lost when he was essentially pushed to suicide. Somebody well worth knowing something about if you don't, or revisiting if you do. So many contributions in a very short life, from the modern concepts of computing to the critical contributions to the Allied war effort in breaking the German Enigma code, and well beyond that. His theory of life that attempted to find reason and purpose in the patterns of flora and fauna was kind of beautiful. Sometimes we do not treat the beautiful gently. March 27, 1915. Mary Mallon. Typhoid Mary quarantined for life. Wiki rabbit hole. Mary Mallon, September 23, 1869 to November 11, 1938, commonly known as Typhoid Mary, was an Irish-born American cook who was believed to have infected between 51 and 122 people with typhoid fever. The infections caused 3 confirmed deaths, with unconfirmed estimates of as many as 50. She was the first person in the United States identified as an asymptomatic carrier of the pathogenic bacterium Salmonella typhi. She was forcibly quarantined twice by authorities, the second time for the remainder of her life because she persisted in working as a cook and thereby exposed others to the disease. Mallon died after a total of nearly 30 years quarantined. Her popular nickname has since become a term for persons who spread disease or other misfortune. As yet unknown. Headline: Science mysteries no one has figured out. From the article. To know is to know that you know nothing, said Socrates, the famed ancient Greek philosopher. And while we know a lot, thanks to science, there's still so much that we don't know. These mysteries have stumped scientists throughout the ages and will leave you scratching your head. From how did the universe form to what comes first, the chicken or the egg? A look at different mysteries, life, and things that we haven't yet come to understand to any great degree. A fun little article that ponders puzzles that are as yet unsolved. A fine diversion for a rainy day. Winter rain. Headline: What is snow? From the article. Snow is precipitation that forms when water vapor freezes. It is not frozen rain, but a crystallization of ice that typically forms in clouds. When temperatures drop below 0 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, there is a sufficient humidity in the atmosphere. Water vapor condenses directly into ice without going through the liquid stage. Once an ice crystal is formed, it absorbs and freezes additional water vapor from the surrounding air, growing into a snow crystal or snow pellet, which then falls to Earth. In discussion with one of my associates in the house, it was determined that we should do a little investigation of snow, so here it is. We've just recently relocated for a while to an area that is snow-friendly, having previously resided in an area that was most certainly not. So a refresher in consideration of the thing that makes winter bearable with its potential for fun and its enduring beauty. Who's the big lizard? Headline: Komodo Dragon. From the article. Giant Komodo dragons are the heaviest lizards on Earth, with scaly skin, huge tails, and long flat heads. They can reach up to 3 meters in length and weigh over 70 kilograms. Giant Komodo dragons are carnivorous, meat-eating reptiles that are only found in Indonesia on 4 islands called Komodo, Rinca, Flores, and Gili Montang. These giant lizards have been around for millions of years, and they can live up to 30 years in the wild. Today's contribution from the animal kingdom is the Komodo Dragon. If you're not interested in these wonderfully bizarre creatures, I can only assume you have never given them any thought, because they are amazing. They're weird, potentially deadly, humongous, and very rare. If nothing else, go now and look up one of them making its way across the Earth, because they are the most spectacular lizard on our space rock. The greatest danger to our future is apathy. Jane Goodall. All right, thank you very much for joining me this week, and I look forward to next week.
When we meet again inside the spectacular human repository of everything and nothing, it's your life, you understand.